Welcome to Mr. English Daily. Are you ready to practice your English conversation skills? Let's dive in.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Mr. English Daily, your friendly space to grow your English through real conversations, real feelings, and real life. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mike. And today, before we do anything else, I want to ask you something. Something simple, but maybe a little uncomfortable.
Oh, we're going straight in today, aren't we?
We are. So here it is. How many times have you had the perfect words ready, right there in your mind, but you said absolutely nothing?
You felt your heart speed up. Your hands maybe got a little sweaty.
You ran every word through your head like a checklist. You imagined people staring, judging, maybe even laughing. So instead of speaking, you smiled, you nodded, you pretended everything was completely fine.
But inside, a small voice was saying, I want to talk. I have something to say. Why am I not saying it?
And then later, on the bus, in your bed, staring at the ceiling, you replay that moment like a film. You think, why did I say nothing? I had something real to share.
And then, of course, in the shower, suddenly the words come. You give the most brilliant speech of your life to the shampoo bottle.
Yes, the most confident version of you lives in the shower.
If the conditioner could vote, you'd win every time.
If any of that sounds familiar, please don't go anywhere. This episode was made for you.
Today, we're talking about one of the biggest things that stops people from speaking, in English and in life, the fear of what other people will think.
And this goes far beyond language. You feel it when you want to dress differently, when you want to say no, when you want to share an opinion, when you want to try something new. Your very first question isn't, do I want this? It's, what will they think?
If you're tired of living inside that question, stay with us. Take a breath. Think about the last moment you stopped yourself. Keep it in your mind, because in this episode, we're going to gently work through that fear, one honest story at a time.
And don't worry about the level. This episode is B1. Intermediate English. If you're at A2, you can absolutely still listen. If some parts feel difficult, that's okay. Listen again. Your brain picks up more every single time.
Your only job right now is to relax and let the English and the ideas come to you naturally. You don't need to understand every single word. Just stay with us.
And I'll be honest, I sometimes finish recording and ask Sarah, did I sound strange? Every single time.
He really does, every time.
So if you feel nervous about your English, you are in very good company.
We want this to feel like a conversation with two people who understand, one who has already walked through this fear and one who is still walking through it.
As you listen, you'll hear natural English expressions. If a word escapes you, let it go. Your brain is already working to connect the words with the story. It's smarter than you think.
And near the end of the episode, we'll slow everything down for a word tour. We'll take the most useful words from today and explain them simply with clear examples you can actually use.
If you enjoy learning English this way, through real conversations and real emotions, please subscribe to Mr. English Daily and give this episode a like. It genuinely helps more learners find us.
And after you listen, we want to hear from you in the comments. Tell us, when do you feel this fear the most? Speaking English in class, at work, with native speakers, online?
And tell us, are you more like Team Sarah? You remember the fear, but you speak anyway?
Or Team Mike, you make 5 jokes so nobody sees you're nervous?
Both are valid strategies. All right, take one slow breath. Think of that moment when you stayed quiet instead of speaking. Hold it there.
Because by the end of this episode, that moment is going to mean something different to you.
Let's go. Part 1. Where did this fear come from?
So let's start at the beginning. This fear, the one that asks, what will they think, it didn't just arrive last week. It has a history.
Right. It usually starts much earlier, in school, in your family, with friends. Small comments, little jokes, moments that lasted 1 second for everyone else, but stayed with you for years.
Maybe you said something in class and people laughed. Maybe you wore something different and someone made a comment. Maybe you tried something brave and someone told you it was too much.
For them, it was nothing. For you, it felt like a mark that never fully disappeared. Those moments linger.
Linger, that's a great word. Can you explain it?
Yes, when something lingers, it stays longer than it should. It doesn't leave quickly, like a smell in a room or a memory that keeps coming back. It lingers.
Maybe you have one sentence from years ago that still lingers. You're too loud. You talk funny. Nobody asked you. Words like that don't just disappear.
And the fear from that one moment doesn't stay in one place. It starts to seep into everything.
Seep, like water moving slowly through a crack.
Exactly. When water seeps into a wall, you don't notice it at first, but slowly the whole wall is affected. This fear works the same way. It starts in one small moment and slowly seeps into school, work, friendships, every new situation.
And whenever there's a moment to speak or be seen, your body remembers the old pain and you shrink back.
Shrink back. You pull yourself inward. You make yourself smaller. The teacher asks for questions. Your hand wants to go up, but something inside says, no, stay safe. Don't be seen. And you shrink back.
Here's something important to hold on to. You were not born this way. Your brain learned it. It learned that being seen could be painful, and it started protecting you.
The problem is, it's still protecting you from something that may not be dangerous anymore.
Here's a small English exercise you can try. Think of one memory that still lingers, one moment where you shrank back. Write one simple sentence about it in English. Something like, in class, they laughed at me, and since then, I always hold back.
It doesn't need to be perfect, just honest. When you put it into words, you can finally see the old story clearly, instead of letting it quietly run your life. Part 2. What it feels like now.
Okay, so that's where it starts. But let's talk about what it feels like today as an adult when this fear shows up.
Because now it's not just one classroom. Now there are meetings, social media, new people, job interviews, conversations in English. The audience feels bigger.
You walk into a room and suddenly feel watched. Your chest gets tight, your stomach tenses, your thoughts start racing. That feeling has a name. You feel anxious.
Anxious, not just a little nervous. Anxious means your body and your mind are both on high alert. Something inside is saying danger, even when nothing dangerous is happening.
And when you feel anxious, your brain starts to freak out.
Freak out, that's good. To freak out means to suddenly feel overwhelmed with fear or stress. Like, oh no, this is too much. Even if you're just ordering coffee and the barista asks a follow-up question.
Your brain freaks out and you hold back.
To hold back means to stop yourself from saying or doing what you actually want. You pull your words back inside. You hold back the question, the idea, the opinion.
Maybe there's a moment in a meeting where you have something useful to say, but you imagine everyone looking at you. You imagine saying something wrong, so you hold back. The moment passes.
It feels like there's a giant spotlight on you, showing every mistake to everyone in the room. But in reality, most people are deep in their own world, thinking about their own worries.
They're thinking, did I reply to that message? Does my answer sound smart enough? What did my manager mean by that?
You are not the main story in anyone's other head. You are maybe a 2-second background character while they're busy with their own film.
So here's a small phrase you can quietly say to yourself next time you feel that spotlight. I am not the main film in their head.
Say it slowly. Breathe. Then take the small step anyway. Say the sentence. Ask the question. It might still feel uncomfortable, but a little lighter. Part 3. When people actually say something.
Now, sometimes it's not just the fear in your head. Sometimes people actually say something that hurts.
A comment, criticism. Maybe they laughed at your accent, your idea, your mistake. They said it out loud, not just in their head.
And that's criticism. To criticize means to point to something and say it is wrong or not good enough.
Sometimes feedback can help us grow, but many times a comment like that is not really about you. It says more about the person saying it.
I had someone tell me once, you're way too sensitive, it's exhausting, and I believed them for a long time. I thought something was wrong with me.
But that comment was not a mirror, it was a projection, a window into their own discomfort, not a reflection of your truth.
So what do we do with those words? We can't delete them, but we can choose what we do with them.
Some comments we keep and learn from, others we brush off.
Brush off? Like dust on your shoulder?
Yes, Imagine something landed on your shoulder. You don't argue with it, you don't carry it, you just brush it off with your hand. Gone. To brush off a comment means, this is not my truth. I am not keeping this.
I actually do this physically. When a harsh comment comes back to me, I touch my shoulder and think, not mine. I brush that off.
You could even write it in English. They said I was boring. I brush that off. That is not my story.
You're not just replaying their words, you're answering them with your own words. Part 4. The performance we give every day.
So we have old fear, an invisible audience, painful comments, and what do we do with all of that?
Many of us start to perform.
Perform? Like acting on a stage?
Yes, but the stage is our daily life. We play a role, the agreeable one, the quiet one, the funny one, the one who never complains, anything to feel safe.
You say yes when you want to say no. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny to you. You agree when your whole inside is saying, no, that's not right.
You stop being your authentic self.
Authentic, real, true, not a character you invented for other people.
When you perform all day for everyone else, you end up walking on eggshells.
Walking on eggshells, that image is so good. You're moving very, very carefully with every word, every action, every expression, because you're scared that one wrong step will upset someone, break something, cause a reaction.
And when you walk on eggshells for everyone else, you stop walking on your own ground. You stop showing up for yourself.
So here's a small challenge for this week. In one conversation, just one, instead of the safe, comfortable answer, say one more honest sentence. Actually, I'm really tired. I don't agree with that, to be honest. That's not something I enjoy.
Still kind, still you, but a little more real. That one sentence is already a step toward being authentic. Part 5. The trap of waiting for perfect.
There's one more thing that keeps this fear alive, and it's very sneaky. It disguises itself as a good plan.
The idea of waiting until you're perfect.
I'll speak English when my grammar is perfect. I'll share my idea when I'm completely sure. I'll try that when I'm fully ready.
It sounds responsible. It feels logical, but it is a very comfortable trap because perfect never arrives.
It's like saying, I'll learn to ride a bicycle when I already know how to balance.
You only learn by getting on, moving, wobbling, maybe falling, getting back up. That's the process.
I used to tell myself, I'll speak in group conversations when I stop feeling nervous. But I stayed nervous. The nervousness only started to shrink when I spoke while nervous.
So pick one area where you're waiting to be perfect and say this in English. I will not wait to be ready. I will start small today.
Then match it with one tiny action, one message, one comment, one sentence spoken out loud. Not perfect, just real.
And when you repeat that, small, imperfect actions again and again, something starts to quietly grow. We call it confidence. Part 6. Confidence is a muscle.
A lot of people think confidence is something you either have or you don't, like you were born with it.
Like some people arrived in the world already comfortable in front of a crowd.
Just naturally walking into rooms like they own the place. But that's not how it works. Confidence is a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows through use.
If you want to get stronger, you don't just think about exercise. You go, you lift, you repeat, regularly.
Confidence works exactly the same way. Every small, brave action is one rep, one repetition. Say hi to someone new, ask a question in class, leave a comment in English. That's a confidence rep.
And yes, those reps will feel uncomfortable at first. They'll push you outside your comfort zone. That's not a sign something is wrong. That's a sign it's working.
When you feel that discomfort, instead of pulling away, try to lean into it.
Lean into, not escape from. Move a little closer, with curiosity, not fear.
You could make a small list. 3 things you'll do this week. Say good morning to a stranger. Ask 1 question at work. Write 1 sentence in English in a comment section. Every time you do one, mark it. That's a rep. You're training.
And when you look at those little marks, you realize, I'm not stuck. I'm actually moving forward. Part 7, From Fear to Curiosity.
Here's the last shift I want to talk about today, and it's one of my favorites.
Changing fear into curiosity.
When fear is running the conversation in your head, it asks questions like, what if I say something wrong? What if they laugh? What if I look stupid?
But curiosity asks different questions. What might I discover? What could happen if I try? What will I learn from this?
When I was younger, before speaking in any group setting, I would sit in my own head asking, what if I mess up? And I would freeze completely.
That full internal freakout.
Total freakout. But when I started thinking of it like an experiment, I'm going to try 1 sentence and see what happens. Something shifted. It felt lighter.
Experiment like in science. You try something, you observe, you collect information. You don't expect perfection, you expect learning.
Exactly. Even if the conversation goes strangely, you didn't fail, you got data, you learned something. So after your next English conversation, any conversation, ask yourself 2 questions. What surprised me? And what went well?
Keep the answers simple. What surprised me? They understood me better than I expected. What went well? I didn't hold back my question this time.
And slowly, your brain learns to look for growth instead of scanning for mistakes. You start caring more about your own progress than about the invisible crowd in your head. And that's the real shift. From performing for an imaginary audience to actually living as yourself. From walking on eggshells to walking on solid ground. From shrinking back to showing up.
And you are already doing that, just by being here, listening and thinking about these ideas. Word tour.
Okay, before we say goodbye, let's slow down together for our word tour. We'll take the strongest words and expressions from today and walk through them simply and clearly. Repeat after us if you'd like.
First word, linger.
When something lingers, it stays longer than expected. It doesn't leave quickly. Example, that comment from years ago still lingers in my memory. Or, the smell of rain lingered in the air all morning. Linger.
Next, seep.
When something seeps, it moves slowly and quietly through small spaces. We use it for water, but also for feelings. Example, old fear can seep into new situations. Or, cold air seeped through the window. Seep.
Next, feeling word, anxious.
Anxious means deeply worried. Your mind is busy and your body is tense, even if no real danger is there. Example, she felt anxious before speaking in the meeting. Or, I get anxious when everyone goes quiet and looks at me. Anxious.
Now, freak out.
To freak out means to suddenly feel overwhelmed with fear or panic. Example, I freaked out when the teacher called my name. Or, he almost freaked out when he couldn't find his passport. Freak out.
Next, shrink back.
To shrink back means to make yourself smaller, to pull away from a moment because you feel scared or shy. Example, when they asked for volunteers, I wanted to go, but I shrank back. Shrink back.
And connected to that, hold back.
To hold back means to stop yourself from doing or saying something you really want to. Example, she had a great idea but held back because she was nervous. Hold back. Shrink back is about your body. Hold back is about your words or actions.
Important word now, authentic.
Authentic means real and true, not a performance, not a mask, just you. Example, I feel most comfortable when I can be authentic with people I trust. Authentic.
Now, an idiom, Walk on eggshells.
When you walk on eggshells, you're extremely careful with every word and action because you're afraid of causing a reaction. Nothing feels relaxed or natural. Example, at that job, I always walked on eggshells around my manager. Or, I don't want people to walk on eggshells around me. I want honest conversation. Walk on eggshells.
Next, brush off.
To brush off a comment means to decide it is not your truth and let it go, like brushing dust from your shoulder. Example, they laughed at his pronunciation, but he brushed it off and kept going. Or, I'm learning to brush off comments that don't serve me. Brush off.
And finally, lean into.
To lean into something means to move toward it instead of away from it, especially when it's uncomfortable. Example, she decided to lean into her fear and join the conversation group. Or, when you feel nervous, lean into it and take one small step anyway. Lean into.
You did wonderfully. You didn't just listen today, you actually walked through some really strong vocabulary and some really honest ideas.
And you don't need to use all of these words at once. Pick one or two this week and use them. That's real progress.
The goal isn't perfect English or a perfect life. The goal is to care a little less about the invisible crowd and a little more about your actual self.
Be kind to yourself this week. Take one small, brave step. Use one new word, and then be proud of it, because it counts.
If this episode helped you, share it with someone who also worries too much about what others think. And come back anytime. We'll be here.
This is Mike.
And this is Sarah.
And you've been watching Mr. English Daily. We'll see you in the next one.
Keep going. You're doing better than you think.